Hello, 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 and welcome back to Infinite Roleplay Dungeon. Today, my name is Nelson, your favorite neighborhood dungeon master and player slayer. uh, anyways, as you can see on the screen, I have YouTube loaded up. I have the joy of battle mapping number 2, the basics, finding, preparing, and applying textures. By who? My friend Test3891. I'll link you to his video in the description. I'll probably put an annotation in there. You know, go check it out. It's good. It's a good resource. He has pretty good tutorials. He has a different way of doing things, a way that he prefers, and I have my way. However, I was watching his tutorial, and I want to share how to do it my way because I'm a little bit of a nut when it comes to precise measurements, more or less, because I'm used to playing in a grid from way back when, and 1 inch, and we'll just go into it, right? As you see, and here he's using this texture. I found that texture. It's right here. This texture is personal use only. Unless you can purchase textures, you can use them for personal use only. You cannot distribute your textures online. These textures online. You can't redistribute them. However, if you go to Google and you type in dungeon texture or whatever, you click search tools and go all the way here. This is the usage rights filter. You can label for reuse if you just want to drag and drop the textures in without changing them, and label for reuse with modification. And you get a different series of textures, textures that you can use without purchasing and then in turn sell. I would just purchase them personally. I have no problem purchasing textures or going to my aunt who has an amazing camera and just having her take a photo of a texture I want anyway. So let's skip that. Go into Photoshop. Pow! This, if you remember, was the dungeon we made in last episode, the previous episode's Dungeon Today series. This is my mini mine. It's currently available on the DriveThruRPG store, Infinite Roleplay. By the time this video is released, I should have the Massacre at the Mine adventure up. It's a 33-page drop-in adventure to be used with any rule set. There's no rule specifics within the adventure. I have a 3-part puzzle in there that's pretty difficult, but it's everything clicks. You don't gotta worry about it. Everything clicks, and I describe what the misdirections are and whatnot at the end of the PDF. Anyway, let's move past that and go into what you came here for, learning how to do dungeons. So this is what we're going to apply that texture to. Now, oops, I skipped a step. This is a blank file. I have the marks dragged out to 1-inch increments because I'm copying and pasting that texture in. Now, if you look, I drag this up to the 1-inch spot. The texture in and of itself is not 1 inch. Now, in Nick's video, he dropped it in, scaled it up, and I'm kind of a one and done thing. I'll put that upfront work, and I'll drive myself insane with that upfront work, so that that work doesn't need to be repeated again with a specific texture or look. As you saw what we did when we created our initial grid pattern and hex pattern and a little cross-hatching pattern. You just reuse it all day long. It's good to go. I want that to be 1 inch, and I want to turn it into a texture much like he did. So that's where this comes in. Okay, this is a 1 inch by 1 inch file. Simply open a new file, inches 1 by 1. And I love to work at 300 DPI because I'm a nutcase. I'm not that much of a nutcase because I actually would work at 600, but besides the point. Paste that in. Now you see, this is the 1 inch file and how big this is. Now you can go free transforming. Again, the shortcut for free transforming is Control T. Drag it about, and we could create a number of textures out of this. Let's do the most evident, which would be the entire file scaled in. I have my snaps turned on. always make sure you have your snaps turned on and your grid set up just the way you want it, as I have done here. Enter to end the transformation. Now we have our picture, our texture, in a perfect 1-inch scale. It is repeatable, so we go Edit, Define Pattern, and we define this as a pattern. I'm going to have a repeat because I did it already. This is my second take. And again, same thing, Control T, and what I'm going to do is expand it so that we just get the center image. Maybe I might need to rotate it a bit, fiddle around until I get it the way I want exactly. Looking pretty close. And what I'm going to do is Control A, new layer, and I'm going to stroke, edit, well, not stroke with white, I'm going to stroke with black. Edit, stroke, 10 pixels around, deselect, and then just lower the opacity to maybe 50%. No, I'm not going to lower the opacity. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. That way it remains that bed feel and repeatable. It has to be seamless because the best textures are seamless ones. So now that that is done, I'm going again to Edit, Define Pattern, and you could label a pattern whatever you want. I'm probably not going to use these again because I did not purchase this texture. Now without transforming it, I'm just dragging it along. And I'm liking the way that looks, this texture. I'm going to pop up my grid so I can snap, and just watch. You select your marquee tool, you drag a box around that specific box. Okay? Now Control Copy, Control C, Control V is to paste. And now I'm moving a copy of that over here so that I can have a checkered pattern. Now I'm going to rotate it because I think that is a bit better. Now again, just edit. I'm just several variations of the same exact texture. That's all this is. You could just keep repeating itself. I'm not going to do it much more than this. Create a define pattern, and let's just go to our Dungeon a Day map. Now, here is a very old school version. It's just black and white. To add some life to it, one of the things we can start doing is pattern overlay and drag down to the patterns we just made, and you can see how it shows up. Wait, it's at 100%. Is that an initial grid pattern? No, the initial grid pattern is at 25%. Boom. So that represents the actual grid pattern. Let's go back here. Yeah, this is a 1-for-1 match of the grid pattern. I'm going to click OK and zoom in so I can show you it's a 1-for-1 match. Right here, you can see that this grid, which is independent, lines up perfectly. Okay? Now, going back, maybe I should drag this over here. Pattern overlay. So that's the pattern I have applied. Then we have this pattern. You know, same checkered pattern. That was one version where both blues are replaced with a small blue and whites. This is a zoomed in version. This is the original version. A little bit more busy, right? The busier version I don't like too much. I do enjoy these two quite a bit. But that's all you need to do. If I put a new layer, go to filling it with white, hide everything, right? Go on my working layer, add that mask, and then just double click pattern overlay, throw that down to 25% so that it lines up perfectly. and then just, not the opacity, but the fill. Bring the fill down to like 0, right? What? Oh, I know why. This is a pattern with a white background, so we're gonna have to go to blend mode, multiply. There we go. And then put the fill down to 0. Now, it's a little less evident because the pattern is tileable at the edges, so there is a bit of a crease. You can see there it becomes a little more evident where the grid is. If we were to color overlay, go to overlay, no, not overlay, soft light, not multiply, screen, boom. Not screen, multiply. Oh my gosh, I'm making it all red. Yeah, I am. Oh my goodness. Anyway, doesn't matter. But color overlay red, you can see where the pattern pops in a little bit more. And here, the motorcycles. Anyway, I'm taking that color overlay off. So that's how you apply the pattern, set it up so that you can easily have a repeatable 1-inch square pattern, and slot it into any other map you have already made following the previous tutorials. Again, I suggest you check out my boy's channel. Throw up the video. Did I leave it? I have no idea what I'm doing. Test 3891. Check out his video. He's doing a series on his battle mapping and techniques that he has learned how to battle map, and check it out because he's got some good maps. It's worth it. So with all that said, this has been Infinite Roleplay. Dungeon of Day. My name is Nelson. Now you're doing, you fine people, and goodbye. Peace.